Now we are going to attach the legs. And as usual, you're going to have stitch markers everywhere. Now, this is the left leg. The, the leg with the yarn attached to it will be your right leg. And the one without it attached, obviously, is the left leg. Now, I left this stitch marker in here because when I came around and fastened off the last stitch, see if I can come in on that. Zoom in. There we go. The last stitch went in there. So when we stitch in here, we're going to put one in this stitch. That stitch is right there. And then so we don't skip this one is right next to it. And sometimes after you go in here, it's easy to just skip right over that stitch. So that's why that's there. Now we have 21 stitches on each leg. This is our center back. So I'm going to keep that there and put a stitch in it first. And then I'm going to keep that there. And we know we have 21 and we need to get to, this is the right leg. We need to get to the inside center. So if this is your right leg, this is your left leg, this is the inside center. In here somewhere. And in here somewhere. So you're going to crochet, single crochet to that inside center. So we're going to start counting now. That's one, whoops. 1, 2, no, 3, 4. Maybe 5. Okay, that's my inside center. So it took me 5 stitches to get to the inside center. So when we come back around, I'm going to need 16 stitches. So this is the last, well, now we're going to chain 2. We need 2 chains between the legs. So, and I'm going to stitch mark that stitch because when we come back around, I know I do not want a stitch in there. It already has one in. So when we come back around the front from the other leg, we're going to put our first stitch in there, not there. Now, I also mark the 2 chains. It's easy to lose those too. So I mark my chains. Now we come over to the other leg. And we want the inside center. So I'm going to have to move this up for now because if I don't, I'm going to be banging it. So as I said, that's a stitch. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's where I put this one. I'd say we're going to put it there too. So I'm going to put my first stitch right in there. Get my yarn out of here. My first stitch is going to go right there. And then, as always, I'm going to mark that stitch because I don't want to use that one when I come back around. And with these legs dangling around, it's easy to miss where you're going. So now I know that I need 21 stitches in this left leg. I already did one, so I need 20 more. So we go 1, 2, oops, oh my, it's going to be a pain. 2, 3, 4. After we get here a few more rounds, oh my, after we get a few more rounds, we're going to put these wires together and form hips, and then it will be a whole lot easier. They won't be flopping all over the place. Now, how many did I do? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so I did 5. Now I can take this out because I know where that stitch is going. 6. I leave these or this go because sometimes you get a little bit of a gap where the chain is, and if you do, you can use this end to sew that gap closed. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. Now, as you can see, that's exactly, we needed 21, and that's exactly where we should be because we already have a stitch in this one, and I know that because of my stitch marker. So now we go from there. I don't know if you can see this. Let me see if I zoom in, if you can see this any better. You can see that looks like there's a whole pile of stitches. Looks like there, 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 and there. When really, we're skipping that one because there's already one in it. And we need 2 in the chains. And then we don't want to put any in this one because there's already one in it. We want to go to there. So that's why we do the stitch markers the way we do. It makes it a whole lot easier. So we skip right over that and go to our chain. So we need 1 single crochet in that chain. And this is where I was saying you could get a little bit of a gap. So that's what that thread's for. And then we need 1 in this chain. Just like that. Now, as I said, we already have 1 in here. So we go in this one. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16. That's exactly how many we needed. 21 minus the 5 we used in the start is 16. So there's our 16. And I'm going to leave this in here for now. Now, on the second trip around, let me get this stuff out of here. We're going to make sure to put 2 stitches on this side of the chain, and when we go around the front, we'll be doing single crochets in the single crochets. It gets a little easier after this round. So we need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you have to bear with me here because it's very long. It's in the way. I'm caught up with bumping the camera. Now let me zoom out before it's all blurry again. There. Like trying to do this and bumping into the camera. So anyway, now this time, my, there. You can take that out of there. And that out of there. Like I said, after this round, it will be easier. Getting through this round isn't the easiest. So we need 1 on this side and 1 right there. So there's, oops, there's our 2 in our chain. Now, we need, let's stick this in here for now. We need 21, so we got to make sure we figure this out that we get 21. It looks like there's already 1 in there, so I'm going to put 1 here. So that's 1. And now I'm going to count and make sure I get 20 to the other side. If not, I got to move it back a stitch. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. See, that's not right. I got to move it back 1. Oops. So I'm going to take that out. And oh, no, that don't really look like a stitch. Let's try it. If I put that in there, now we're going to count again. So that's 1, so I need 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Yep, that's right. So there's my 1. Whoops. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Now our 2 single crochets. 1, 2, whoops. I might have 1 too many on here. I'll be right back. I gotta count these again. Well, after counting and counting, I did not have to rip it out. My stitch count is right. It just looks like it's not sometimes. So I have my 21 on this leg. I need my 2 single crochets in my 2 single crochets. And then I need 16 on this leg. And I added that stitch marker to make sure my stitch count was right. 2, 3, 4, 5. It's very difficult, these first 2 rows, to make sure you get your stitches where they need to be. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, oops, 12, 13, 14, 15, and then 16. And then I'm going to keep marking this one for a few more rounds, but I don't need any other markers because from now on, it's pretty easy to go around. because you need 21 plus 21's 42. And then 2 and 2, 42, 44, 46. You need 46 stitches all the way around. So, and then we're going to do that for a few rounds. So I will see you back after I do a few rounds. He's looking pretty good though. And I know my stitch count is correct. And see, now I kept this, and then I see, like right there. Let me zoom in. Right there. See that little bit of a gap there? Right there. I'm going to use this string, and I'm going to do it now, because if you crochet too high, you won't be able to sew back in there. It'll be too far away. So I'm going to sew that in now also. And I'm not going to pull it tight or gather. I'm just going to run the yarn end through the holes, kind of. I wanted to give you a quick glance. I sewed in my end there. And see, it's not sewed tightly or anything. I just ran the yarn between stitches to kind of sew up those gaps, but I did not pull it tight. And now I'm just going to stick it down in the leg. And now I'm going to go back to crocheting, start crocheting all these rounds of 46. And I'm going to do it on my lap because it's easier. Alrighty, I did 3 rounds so far. We're supposed to be doing 14, but I did 3 so far, and I stopped to fix these wires. So you want to bend them into hip shape, which again is not going to be easy without me holding this thing. So the first thing I do is bend this one in this way. And after I have it in that way, you want to make sure the toe is pointed upward when you bend that in. Then, about right here, you want to bend it up this way. So I gotta fix this a little bit. Try and straighten this out a little bit. That looks okay. Now we want to do the same thing on the other side. So we want to bend that towards the center. Like that. And then right about here, we want to bend it upward. Like that. So that looks pretty good. Now, straighten this one out a little. Now what I do to hold them in place is twist them like this. You don't have to go crazy and make it tight. Just enough to hold them in place. Like that. Kind of like that. Let me see what he looks like. Now he has hips. You can see he has hips. Then I take these top ones and I bend them back down again. just to make it that they're not in the way, like that. His feet are straight. Yeah, he looks good. And now he's not flopping all over the place, and it's going to make it a little easier to continue your rounds. So I did 3, should do 11 more. I did my 14 rounds of 46, and then I fastened off. So then I attach my new yarn this way, start a stitch like this, start a stitch, don't finish it, pull through with the new color, maybe, there, pull through with the new color. Now you want to be careful here because you don't want to pull it too tight, but you don't want it too loose. So what I'm going to do is immediately single crochet in the next one, and then I can sort of tighten this up a little bit, just like that. So now we want to single crochet 14 and then increase. And I'll see you after I do my 14 increase. I single crocheted 14 and did an increase in the 15th stitch. Now I want to do that again. So I'll see you after I do that again. Single crochet 14 and then an increase in the 15th stitch. Okay, I did my second single crochet 14 and an increase. Now to take us to the end, we're going to do single crochet 15 and then your increase. I tied those ends where I changed colors, so I'm going to snip it a little bit, not much. And then they're just going to go down inside there, like that. Now we're going to single crochet in every stitch around. And I will see you after I do that. That should be 49 stitches. I'll see you at the end of the 49 stitches, and I'm going to put a stitch marker in my first one. There. Now, in your front loops only, you want to work a single crochet 1, making sure it's front loops only, chain 2, skip 2, front loop only single crochet. And you want to do that and then chain 2, skip 2, front loop only single crochet. You want to do that all the way around. Okay, after you get all your chain spaces done all the way around, turn your work upside down, as you can see mine is. In the chain 2 spaces, you're going to put a half double crochet, a double crochet, a treble crochet, a chain 2, a treble crochet, a double crochet, and a half double crochet, all in the same chain 2 space. In that single crochet, now I'm pretty far away, in that single crochet, you just want to put a single crochet. Oops. And then you're back to the chain 2 space where you do your half double, double, treble, chain 2, treble, double, half double. Now, see, I was talking and not paying attention to what I was doing. Try it again. Half double, double, treble, chain 2, treble, double, half double. And you're back to the single crochet where you single crochet. And continue that all the way around. And you're going to get this nice little edge like on his shoes. I think I'm going to give you a second option where it's up to you, pick which you want. You could do a half double crochet, double crochet, treble crochet, chain 2 picot, slip stitch back into the top of your treble, then double crochet and half double crochet. And now we single crochet in that, and I'll show you what that looks like. So you can pick whichever you want to do. This one gives a more rounded effect. The picot gives it a pointy effect. Oops, there. Helps if you're in view, huh? So the picot is there. Or you can do it like on the shoes. The shoes is more rounded. I don't know which I like better. More rounded matches the shoes. It's up to you. But I gave you the option. Okay, after you go all the way around, fasten off and leave a tail long enough for a little bit of tacking. Not much. Not much, I mean by not much tacking, but go around a little bit here and there and just tack these down a little bit so they're not sticking up. Just like that. Nothing fancy. Make sure it's small enough that you don't notice it. I'm just going around at where the single crochets are. And you don't want it too close to the edge because we're going to pick our yarn back up there. And we're going to work in all the stitches. See how they won't be going up in the air as much. You don't want them flat for sure. but you don't want them sticking up like this one is. So do that around, and when you get around, I'll see you at the end here. Okay, I did all the way around. It looks great. Like I said, you want it hanging out over like that. That's what it's designed like that, but you don't want it sticking straight up in the air either. So that looks perfect. So now I'll be back in a second. Alrighty, so now you want to reattach in the back somewhere. I'm going to reattach in the center back. Now on the single crochet, stitch in what was the back loop, because you used the front loops. So we're going to reattach on that single crochet and then single crochet in that back loop. The other stitches, you use the whole stitch. There, I don't know if you can see. There's one loop, there's two loops. Use the whole stitch. And then I'm back to a back loop. And then the whole stitch. So you want a single crochet in every stitch around. You should have 49. Okay, so now we're going to do the opposite of what we did before. So there's my first stitch. We're going to single crochet 14. Then we're going to decrease. Then we're going to single crochet 14 and we're going to decrease. And we're going to single crochet 15 and we're going to decrease. And we're going to end up with 46 stitches. Okay, so now keep filling. Now you're going. You don't want to wait till you can't get it in nice. You want to have it nice and smooth, no ridges like I have there. That's better. And now you want to do a whole bunch of rows of 46. Okay, as you can see, I had to move the camera way out to get him to fit on here because he is tall. Tall, tall, tall. And he looks fantastic, I have to say. So, after you do your 20 rounds of the shirt, you have to fasten off, unless you have more than one ball of this color, which I don't. The UK has decided not to ship to the US anymore, so I'm low on yarn. So, that's why I don't have two balls of that color, because it's one of my favorite. I should have two, but I don't. So I have to fasten off. And now we're going to move on to arms. And after we make the arms, we'll attach them to this and the body will be done.